That always seems to be the question. Am I ready to go live? Yeah, I guess so. Hey everyone, if you can hit subscribe on my channel, I've got subscribers. I don't know how many, or hit the like button. I am here to just do an update. I was trying to do new content every single day, but not, people don't watch very often, or while I'm live anyway. So I decided I'm just going to do things when I feel like it. And today it's just, I'm dropping in for a quick update. Um, I don't have too much really to talk about, but I love answering questions. So if anybody jumps on here and wants to ask me anything, I'd love for that to happen. A couple things I would like to mention. Wednesday, we're doing on the Unparalleled channel on uh, Facebook and on YouTube. We're doing a Dragonfly chat with Brian Hawkins, me and Jay, and that'll be fun. Dragonfly is dropping on Kickstarter on February 2nd, so about a week. So get ready. It's looking pretty cool. Hi Alex, how are you? You watch. Not very many people do, but you do. And Luke Hardiman, few people do. But there's that. That's going on Tuesday. The Horror Syndicate Discourse was talking about. We're talking about Doctor Sleep. If you go to thehorrorsyndicate.com, you can see last week's episode and the week before that, where we talked about The Witch and An American Werewolf in London. So this week we're talking about Doctor Sleep. So I'm going to watch. I'll probably watch both The Shining and Doctor Sleep because if you like The Shining, if you like Doctor Sleep, watching them back to back is an absolute must in my opinion. I did it as soon as I got the Blu-ray. Nate wants to talk about how Doctor Sleep failed in the theaters, and that's all our fault. Our fault. I saw it twice in the theater, and I don't get to go to the theater very often on my own without the kids. So I took the time to do that. I actually saw it the first time. It was a double feature with. It wasn't a double feature. I just do double features when I get the chance. When you're not dating, you do things alone a lot. And anyway, I went and saw Zombieland Double Tap for the first show, and then at about I think it was about 9:30 that night, I saw they were showing Doctor Sleep, and I just went, walked out, went back, bought another ticket, like, hey, one for Doctor Sleep, bought some popcorn, Dr. Pepper, and enjoyed myself. Doctor Sleep was definitely one of my favorites of 2019. Period. Not even just favorite horror movies, but favorite movies. Period. I did make a change in the horror room. It's not just exclusively a horror room anymore. If you look behind me, where the two Horror Syndicate logos are, those were done by Jay Sloan. Below that is which way? Right there is Thrawn, and I added Duke from GI Joe. That's not the only change. I'll take the camera down and show you. I added some Star Wars figures, vintage collection, and there's Chewbacca. But I added those today, actually. That's what I was doing while arguing whether or not there's a fan. There's the Horror Syndicate fan. It's the Horror Syndicate's biggest fan. Yeah. And that's what I'm looking at. So out the window at nothing. My neighbor's window. That's their garage. But yeah, so I'm adding things, changing the horror room around a little bit, so it won't be just solely a horror room anymore. Like this wall over here by the sliding glass door with the Dawn of the Dead posters. I'm thinking about changing those out away from horror. And there's another wall there that's got the volumes of Blood Mask and my Jason masks. So that might move over to that wall, and then I might make this whole side all non-horror because I'm more than just a horror fan. I love horror. Don't get me wrong. I love horrors. No, but don't get me wrong. I'd like to do other stuff. Hey, there's 9 people watching. Who's watching me? Please make yourself known and ask me a question. Keith, um, pretty much. But I think I'm going to go with somebody called. I asked what I should call it, and somebody said the Doom Room, and I kind of like that because, you know, it kind of goes with just about it. I don't know what I'm doing. Fandom's cool. Yeah, Star Wars. I love Star Wars. It's my favorite thing other than baseball. I think baseball's the only. Oh, there's also my closet, which is full of. You can see full of baseball cards. There's a area to put stuff up there, and you can see bookshelf with NECA stuff. Pop. Well, I've got some pops. I'm not a huge pop, actually. Got one fell. Got a man down. But I do have some pops. I wish there was no window here, and I wish that there was no sliding glass door there, because it's the sliding glass door. This is eventually going to be my bedroom, I think. Um, my bedroom upstairs is huge, and I like the color of the walls up there. I don't really feel like painting these walls, but I might end up making this my bedroom at some point. And then upstairs will be the doom room, because, well, other than the closet, there's not much. There's two windows, but there's a lot of wall space. So I might end up doing something up there at some point, and then doing as the bedroom, because really my bedroom, I watch movies every once in a while and sleep. That's pretty much all I do up there. The problem is, with all that room, and there's this table in here, and then there's nothing else behind me. Well, it doesn't matter. I don't know. We'll see. I got time. Operation Eclipse number 2 is more than halfway done. For anybody who's out there wondering about that. Um, yeah, and my son's 11 now. He'll be 12 in April, and then in my daughter is 7. So most of the reason I've been upstairs is because of her, trying to, like, she still wakes up in the middle of the night and has to go potty or something, and I like, no matter what, when they wake up, I wake up. So I kind of want to be there still to safeguard them from anything, just in case, instead of them half asleep rambling downstairs and maybe taking a tumble. I'm pretty protective of the kids. So, hypothetical question: let's say someone is incredibly afraid of the dark. Maybe they still sleep with a nightlight. How does a person make it through a scary movie? Um, I don't know. With their eyes closed, maybe. I don't know. It depends on the movie, because some horror movies, like the ones behind me, are not scary, in my opinion. The Friday the 13th films. There's not many that freak me out. My kids can handle most of the stuff except for Insidious. I don't know. It's a good question. How does a person make it through a scary movie that gets scared easily? Hopefully, holding somebody tightly, watching it with somebody else. I don't know. That's a good question. Uh, I haven't. There's been some good movies that freaked me out in the last few years. A movie called, and I think it's on Netflix. So check it out if you can. It's called the Autopsy of Jane Doe. I really like that quite a bit. I really, really enjoyed The Babadook, which I don't think is streaming anymore. There's some good ones. We talked about The Witch the other day. It's not really scary, but it's a damn good movie. It Follows is a good one. That one stuck with me. It's about this force that's basically following anybody who has sex, and so they could follow you anywhere. You can get away from them, but you can never outrun them. And the next morning, after Elizabeth and I watched it, there was some old lady, which I used to get up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning to go to work, and there'd be nobody on the streets. And just out of the darkness, some old lady came walking as fast. She was power walking, and it's just, I just kind of like freaked out. I may have had sex the night before, so just saying. Desensitize yourself to it. Desensitize yourself. Yeah, it's hard for some. Not everybody gets desensitized from horror. Who's watching horror movies in their house that's getting scared? Just have them come hang out with me for a while. I love It Follows. Just have them hang out in the old horror room. There's a lot of imagery. You can see behind me there are tons of movies. I'll just desensitize anyone. Um, I don't know. I've never really dealt with anyone who's scared before of horror movies. Elizabeth was scared of werewolves, and she wouldn't let me watch werewolf movies. But that was kind of irrational for her. So I don't know. That's a really good question. That'd be a great topic of discussion for. I had a feeling the friend was you. Come hang out and we'll watch horror movies. And I mean, one way that I did with the kids, for instance, was like showing them how things were made. Like we watched The Howling one day, and we showed them how the makeup effects were done, and letting them know it wasn't completely real. Uh, I don't know. I really don't know. It's a great question. I bought my lady the screenplay book for The Witch. Hereditary is great. We did Hereditary last year. There's an episode for that at the Horror Syndicate on YouTube. I can be scared of the dark. I don't understand being scared of the dark. Um, I don't like the dark, but I don't think I'm scared of it. Like, the only reason I don't like the dark is because I can't see anything and I can't move. But I will say there's a bathroom upstairs and the light is always on, so I don't have to deal with the dark very much. That's for Helena. It's not. It's for all of us. It's so we can see where the bathroom is. We don't want people pissing all over the floor. It's happened before, believe me. I'm not going to say who did it either. It was me. No, it was Reynolds. Yeah, I do too. I mean, there's a few times that I have been scared. Like I said, that turning the lights off, putting the phone down, and watching a horror movie that's supposed to be frightening is great. So like tonight, or not tonight, but the night that I watched the Autopsy of Jane Doe, had no distractions, lights were off, and I just like, and the best part about my house is like, so I'm to the far end of the house right now, and there's so much space on the other end in the living room, and so there's nothing. It's all nothing over there, and I love it because like I kept looking over there. And another one was Sinister, because there are scenes where Ethan Hawke is doing investigating the case, and in Sinister, there's complete blackness behind him, and you're like, "What? Something's going to jump out," and it doesn't. It plays with your mind. So I love Sinister. Uh, the things that worry me in the dark are the things I cannot shoot. Do you have night terrors or something, or what are they called? Sleep paralysis? Because that's scary shit for sure. There's a documentary on. Well, it used to be on Netflix. What was this called? It's called The Nightmare, I think. It's about sleep paralysis. That's fucking terrifying. I think certain movies stick with me, like The Babadook. Yeah, like when I was a kid, the movies that scared me as a kid were dumb. Like not scary movies, right? Reanimator, like the scene where they reanimate the first guy and he's like freaking out and he's naked and stuff, and they have to take the bone saw through his chest. That just freaked me out when I was 5 or 6 years old. And then Terror Vision, that movie's silly. That scared me. Night of the Living Dead, the 1990 version, when I was about 10 years old when I saw it. That freaked me out because like I was alone. My mom, she bowled on Friday nights, and I would be sitting there on the couch, which was next to a window, and Night of the Living Dead was on. And for some reason, like I lived on a street where there was like a long street. My house is on the end, and I could see all the way down the other street. And I kept looking down there, waiting to see somebody walking down the street. And every now and again, I would, and I'm like, "Oh shit!" But it's the thing about being scared, and you got to get immersed into the film, like The Witch, or it's not scary, but get it like you got to get yourself like into the movie to get scared. No, I don't want anybody pissing on my floor. There's too many people that pissed on the floors in this house. And I'm not even joking. Yeah, I could see that being scary. I'm not claustrophobic. I don't think I really have any like of these major fears. I think I'm a little bit of afraid of heights, even though I jumped out of planes and helicopters in the army. I'm afraid of heights a little bit. Sinister is a great horror movie. It's one of the best of the 2010s for sure. We have to deal with not falling in the toilet. Well, you know what? I'm sorry, but if I remember correctly, you had, as my mom said, childbearing hips, so you should be fine. Oh man. And you know what? I've taught my son to make sure to put the toilet seat down every time. It's really just to close it. My kids have a problem with flushing the fucking toilet. Like I came downstairs this morning and there was probably 2 coats of pee in there from both of them, and it smelled like death. So yeah, that's what I have to deal with. Seriously, Jurassic Park and Deep Blue Sea scared you? Yeah, Sinister. When did that come out? 2012, I want to say, and then it spawned one sequel which wasn't as good. I actually went and saw it in the theater. I usually don't see horror in the theater because I don't, like I said, even now I don't get a chance to see much. Well, other than what's been going on in the world in the theater because of the kids. Usually we go see stuff together, and they like seeing the Avengers and all that stuff. So I got lucky there, and we'll do trade offs and see some of the animated things Helena wants to see, or they'll do Wizard of Oz days at the theater, and we'll go do that. Helena loved it when we went and saw Peter Pan, which is an extremely racist movie and terrifying in many ways. The old Peter Pan from 1950s. My God, they want to kill Wendy first of all. They're cannibal. The kids, the Lost Boys are cannibals. It's fucking insane. Uh, I said to me, that's the worst part about having a young man or young boy in house is he thinks it's okay to piss on the porcelain, but he doesn't realize there's a big splatter effect when you do that, and it gets all over everything. It's like I'm constantly cleaning up piss. Not so much anymore. It was mostly when he was younger. Oh man, it looks cool. King Kong versus Godzilla. Godzilla's got the upper hand in my opinion because he's got that blast, whatever the hell it is, that comes out of his mouth. But man, King Kong fucking just knocked his lights out in that trailer. That trailer looked awesome. I'm excited. I'm not a big Godzilla guy at all. Never have been. I do like King Kong more. Like I've always liked the King Kong movies dating back to the 1930 31 King Kong movie. But like the Peter Jackson King Kong, I actually really liked. The 1975 or 1976 King Kong was really good. King Kong Lives, when I was a kid, came out I think in '86. I loved that movie. And then the newest one, Skull Island, was awesome. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm not like totally amped. Okay, Brett's in with a joke. What happens when Batman is late to play baseball with Robin? Go ahead, give us the punchline. I'm not even gonna bother guessing. Come on, Brett. My kids think Brett looks like Wayne Gretzky. I think Brett looks like Dave Coulier because I know, just like any Canadian, he loves a dollop of sour cream. Lord, that was one of the worst ones yet. Brett and his dad jokes. He'll be here all week. Brett and I had Wingstop the other night. It's pretty good. Not as good as some of the places that we frequent for hot wings, like Showme's. I've always been a fan of Showme's. Never been a big fan of Hooters. Hooters is okay. Showme's is like a hometown thing. I like supporting things that are not as big chain franchise type restaurants. But we had Wingstop the other night. He picked it up while he was in Edwardsville. We were supposed to have dinner with Carlos, but there's a few restaurants in this town illegally, I believe, open, and then I know there's some in the next county over that are open. But I still don't feel comfortable going into restaurants just yet. Now, whenever it was the summertime or springtime or fall, I didn't mind because they had outdoor dining, which first of all is one of my favorite things anyway. I love to outdoor dine. So shrimp. Oh, I don't like shrimp. Oh, okay. I think I'm gonna close up shop unless anybody has anything else they want to ask me. Because I here's the thing. I want to do live feeds and just answer questions because I love answering questions. Not technically about myself, about anything. Star Wars, a Batman, horror, anything. Food. I did a whole episode or whatever on root beer. What the best root beer was. Let's see. When Hooters had all you can mangle for $12. It was. Oh yeah, I think I can agree with that. My favorite wing place is still Show Me's. It's a local area, local place. I've never been fond of Buffalo Wild Wings either. Um, there's one other place I think that does wings in the area. Anyway, a girl I was dating a couple years ago, Caitlin, she was like, "Have you ever had Wingstop?" And I said, "Nope." She's like, "Let's go," and we went, and it was pretty damn good. And they've got these fries, these seasoned fries that are very sugary. Brett can attest if he's still here. He probably just dropped in for the joke and left because that's what he does. He's like a fart in the wind. And plus, I said dollop, which is his least favorite word in the world. Man, I put up a post the other night that said I miss game night. Brett's got so many different card games, like Cards Against Humanity and something called Choking Hazard or Joking Hazard. So much fun, and yeah, I missed doing that, getting the group together and playing those games. Cards, I mean, just laughing all night long, you know. Shoney's, I haven't seen a Shoney's in years. It's Show Me's Dime Time. Yeah, triple Dime Time, man. It was, what was it, like 10 wings for $3 or some shit? It was outstanding. Yeah, we used to go every Saturday, not every Saturday night, every other Saturday night. Me, my wife Elizabeth, my buddy Sean, my buddy Edgar, and Brett probably was there from time to time. I don't remember who all went, but it was like a rotating crew. But we'd go. I think they had it all weekend, but we'd go on Saturday nights, get some wings, go shopping. You know, just that's how we spent our date nights, getting wings. Enjoy. I have apples to apples that I can play with the kids, and that's kind of the same idea, just not raunchy. It's more fun, man. Some of these they have a family edition of Cards Against Humanity because I if it's something my kids can play, I'd love to try to do that. I wonder if it'd be fun to do a Zoom playing Cards Against Humanity, but everybody would have to have a set, right? I don't know because I've got me and my boys like Tony and Edgar and Carlos and Manuel and Brett. We could probably all do something like that sometime. I love that. I love that game. It never gets old. And then you toss in some choking or joking hazard, which is hilarious. If you haven't seen Joking Hazard, check it out. It's a card game with like little stick figure guys doing weird shit, and it's fucking insane. It's written by kids. Oh man, I might have to look into that. Thank you, Jeremy. That's awesome. I'll have to look into that for sure. Dude, I want to come over to your house for game night. Holy shit, dude, that sounds amazing. We would just either order out food or do like a sandwich platter, you know, like make your own sandwiches, which was a lot of fun. But if you're making that shit, I'm coming. I'm hanging. The Jackbox games have. Interesting. There's another game that I have that's it's not a funny game. It's called Zombies. It's in here actually. Of course, it's a horror room. I'd like to I'd like to play that too, but nobody ever wants to play that game with me. I'll have to, look into that, Morgan. Yeah, didn't you talk to me about that? We talked about that with the Zombies game, didn't we? I think we did. That way back when. Talk about streaming stuff for the Zombies game for the Horror Syndicate. Dude, I don't want to live in West Virginia, but I'd come out there. I've never heard of Jackbox. I have to look into that too. I'm all for gaming. I just recently this year, I'm a little late and disappointed in myself. Introduced my kids to Monopoly, Helena was a little young, I thought, but Reynolds had never played it, and they loved it. The next one I'd like to get them to try is one of my mom's favorite, and excuse me, Yahtzee. I love Yahtzee. That's my mom. My mom loved Yahtzee. She was. I don't know if it's a game of skill, but she was always really good at playing Yahtzee. Um, so I've got those. I mean, we've got. We don't have the game of life, which I mean, these are just games that most households have. So we're missing that. Oddly enough, I didn't know we didn't have, or I didn't know we had Monopoly, and went and bought a copy, and I got home and went. I had my washer and dryers in the basement. I went down there to do some laundry, and I saw 2 copies of Monopoly sitting there on the shelves. The cool thing is, all 3 copies of Monopoly we have are from different generations. So I know the first one I have is the one my mom bought back in probably the '90s, and then the second one Elizabeth and I bought, thinking we didn't have it, back in the mid 2000s, and then this one me and the kids bought. So each of us, so they'll have their own copy of Monopoly whenever they leave the house in 40 years or whatever that is. I don't know when it's going to be. Probably won't be this house either. We've been talking about moving lately after all this pandemic stuff is behind us. That's something we've been talking about, getting out of the area. I know it's disappointing to everybody, but Clue is another one we need to get. Yeah, I need to get Clue. I'm not big into the like Star Wars Monopoly, Star Wars Clue, whatever. I like the generic regular stuff because I've had different versions of Monopoly, especially Star Wars, and not my thing. I usually don't open them. That's why. Monopoly is my jam. Only been beaten once. Also love Risk. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm great at Monopoly because I'm not. I just enjoy playing it. Reynolds is unfortunately extremely, like me when I was young, his age, extremely competitive. We played Candyland 2 years ago or something like that, and there's one card. Uh, I can't remember. It's like is it a peanut or something like that? And it takes you all the way back to the beginning. Anyway, 3 games in a row, he drew the peanut and or whatever the card was, and he hated it so much. He's a big fan of Uno though, and Uno's a fun game. Risk and Axe. I played both of those, but not in many years. They have Golden Girls. That sounds funny. That sounds fun. Hey, Candyland's a good game. It's timeless in my opinion. Goes right there along with Shoots and Ladders. Anybody remember the game Mousetrap from back in the '80s? I don't know if they still make it or not, but Mousetrap was always the game I always wanted to play because the commercials made it look so cool. And but it was I remember my cousins had it, and it was a bitch to set up. We were like 5, 6 years old, and it was such a pain in the ass to set up. And I don't even remember ever playing it because it took us so long to set it up because you had to set up the trap, and there's a ball that drops and does all this different shit. Is Mousetrap still around? You have it, Morgan? I'm surprised you've heard of it. You were born in '96. What's with me knowing so many people from 1996? It's Keith, and I dated Caitlin and Morgan, who I looked at her boobs at Horror Hound, of course. Yeah, see, pain in the ass to set up. Maybe it was because I was a kid, but still, what's the still play Mousetrap? Okay, no, it's not as cool. There's another game. What was that one called? It was like on an island, had those like stone heads, stone faces on it. Um, and there was like have an earthquake every now and again. The hell was that game called? That was a fun game too. Yeah, I'm maybe I'll get Mousetrap to just torture myself. My mom educated it. Well, that's what your parents are supposed to do. That's what I'm trying to do now. So now I have to get Mousetrap so they can see what I went through. I have to get Mousetrap and probably either Risk. I like Risk better than Axis and Allies. Battleship is another one we don't have. Not Jumanji. No, it was fuck man, what was that game called? Something. I mean, what board game? Look it up. See if I can find something. Forbidden Island. I think that's what it is. Let me see. Yeah, I think that's it. No, Forbidden Island's new. No, it's not that. I don't remember what it was called, but I know that was another one that was kind of a pain. And there was like, yeah, like there was a way to earthquakes. There was like lava. I think there was a volcano in the middle. Does that sound familiar? Strategos. That was a good game too. Well, I have Hungry Hippos. That's a staple. That's a definite staple. I have played that. You remember there's one that came out in the '90s, Pictionary? No, was it Pictionary? That was a lot of fun. Catan. It's not. I know it's not that. I know that's a fun game too. It's a card game, isn't it? I'm not into D&D. My brother-in-law is way into D&D. Never was my thing. Let's see. Should I type in classic board games? There's Clue, Battleship. Sorry is another good one. Just type in from the 80s. Might be from the 90s, actually. Ghost Castle. Never heard of that one. Mystery Mansion. That looks pretty cool. Return to the Dark Tower. They have a Big Trouble in Little China game. The Game of Life. Fireball Island. I think that's it. That looks like that's it. I'll bring my screen up. Give me 1 second. For anybody who's watching. I think this is it. Yeah. Yeah, this is it. Holy shit. Yep. That's it. Here, let me see if I can do the share screen thing here. I'm getting hungry. It's almost dinner time. Make me some food. So this is the game I think I'm talking about here. Fireball Island, if you guys can see it. But like, yeah, see, I think fireballs would roll down here and knock your player off and stuff. This was a fun game. If I remember correctly. Yeah, that's it. That's for sure it. Anybody play this one? I think my friend Brian Back had that game. Whoa, that's rotating. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, that was a cool game. Hey, what's up, man? I used to play MTG semi-professionally before we adopted. What's MTG? You guys were commenting while I wasn't looking. Yeah, see, I think that's. I'm pretty sure that's what that game was. You built bridges, but their fireballs, the marbles, basically would come down and knock you off, and you either die or have to start over. I think I can't remember. I tried playing Magic: The Gathering, but I got like my buddy Mike. He worked at a game shop, comic game shop, and we were like, yeah, we want to try playing some of these games. We tried Versus System, the Marvel Versus System, and the Magic: The Gathering, and I couldn't get into it. I did play D&D a few times with my brother. Oh, that's what MTG is. My brother-in-law, he tried getting me to play D&D with him a few times, and I'm first of all, I'm a very visual person, so like I have to like see what's going on, and they had miniatures, but all it was like writing down stuff. Very similar to fantasy football, oddly enough. But I just couldn't get into it. I've tried a few times because he had this Lord of the Rings game that I wanted to get into because I'm huge into Middle Earth, and I just couldn't get into it. It's the tabletop stuff's fun, but strategy games where you mostly just use dice and little stat sheets, it's not for me. Not that there's anything wrong with it at all. I mean, there's a lot of games that a lot of people play like that. Sounds like you and Daddy Daytona should be best friends. He can cook some ribs, and you can come out and play Magic the Gathering with him, and he'll school you probably, for what it sounds like. Anyway, let's see, 34 minutes. It's almost 6. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I've had fun. Thanks for chatting with me just about whatever random stuff. I am planning on doing another. What is 10 minutes to midnight? Oh, I asked them for a screener. That's what that was. Okay, it's a horror movie. Anyway, I guess they're saying I can. Yes, please send the email. Sweet. We'll get screeners. I got a screener for the 13 Slaves to Christmas. I still got to watch. I'm looking forward to watching that. I just haven't had. Honestly, I haven't had the I haven't wanted to, so I just need to get around to watch. I'm trying to write more stuff this year for the Horror Syndicate. Get back in, man. Do it. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna do another Razor's Romances this week. I think I'm gonna do Grand Moff Tarkington. The last name of the girl is Tarkington. We were friends on Facebook, but we're not anymore. So I can do it, but I'm not gonna use her first name. But I thought it was a funny name. I wrote this one on my website. I plan on doing an episode about my ex love Ellen. I teased Caitlin that I would talk about her, but there's not really much to talk about. I feel like I saved her from a bad relationship, though. So, wow, you're all over PJ stuff, aren't you, Alex? I plan on watching it and doing a review. Just I haven't gotten around to it because I haven't wanted to, and that's the bad thing about me and doing reviews. Like people send me stuff all the time. Like, can you review this? Like, maybe. At 13 Slays, I want to because I've seen. Hey, Luke, how you doing, man? We've been talking about board games all night. It's been fun. Yeah. Anyway, I want to get back into doing reviews for. I know you live by PJ. You should be in more of his stuff then. Jesus, and Nate too. But anyway, yeah, I want to get back into supporting indie horror. I got accused of only supporting certain people, like Scream Team Releasing and Nathan Thomas Milliner. And look, first of all, Nathan and I are friends. We are really friends. We like each other, and I support my friends. I do. And the person who accused me, I've supported that person for years, 5 now. So whatever. But I want to support indie horror, and I'll take screeners and give my honest review. If I didn't like it, I'm not going to bullshit around. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm an honest person. Luke, you're about my age. Do you remember Fireball Island? That game was the shit. That we were talking about that. We talked about some Monopoly, and it's all in the video. I'm about to get off of here though because I need to feed my chillin', and I need to feed myself, and I still have laundry to fold. But at least I can watch movies while I fold laundry. So, yeah. I'm again Monday. I might do a show tomorrow on here and talk about stuff. Maybe I'll do my next Razor's Romance. I think there's going to be, I want to say 8 of them. The only girl that's off limits is Elizabeth, because I'm going to do that segment, How I Met Their Mother. And yeah, dude, yes, just brought you back, dude. Watch this whole video because we talked about all kinds of awesome games. Mousetrap, you remember Mousetrap? Hell yeah, man. I love board. I miss playing board games, man. Yeah, I was talking about game night and Cards Against Humanity and stuff, but shit, man, when we were kids, 12, 13 years old, I think that's why Stranger Things spoke to me so much. I didn't play D&D, but, you know, as friends, we'd all get together and play games and play just through the fucking night, you know, and then same thing with Nintendo and Sega Genesis and shit like that. Super Nintendo was my preferred system was Super Nintendo way back when. I'd like to talk about vintage gaming too. I have not talked about that enough. So maybe we'll do that. We'll do that tomorrow. Who wants to come out, hang out with me, and talk about like Nintendo games and Super Nintendo and shit like that? Because that's another passion that I don't ever talk about is my gaming addiction. Other than playing, you know, current gen and last gen and the gen before that systems, like, yeah, man, Stranger Things hit me in all the right levels. You know, the kids' friends and stuff like that. It reminded me of hanging out with my friends riding bikes, and it had some horror elements. It was just a great show. Anyway, but yeah, I'd like to talk about vintage gaming. You know, let's talk about some Nintendo stuff tomorrow. Super Nintendo was my systems. My favorite games were Castlevania, Super Castlevania 4. That's the shit. It's basically a remake of Castlevania, but it's awesome. Castlevania 3 was the shit. Uh, yeah, by the time Saturn came out, I think I was still just playing Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and Genesis. I didn't get a Saturn. Because from there I went to my PlayStation in '95 or '96, maybe. I think it was '96. Anyway, I bought that with my own money too. My PlayStation got pulled over on the way home after I got. So it was '96. I was 16. So anyway, yeah, I got. So I went from Super Nintendo to the PS1, which back then it was just called PlayStation. And then I got 64. Mueller hit it right here. 60. I mean, how many times did we get the four? Not maybe not us, but I know we go to Matt Goodman's house and play GoldenEye all the damn time. But yes, I had the 64, but I didn't care for it. It was too blocky for me. The PlayStation looked so much better in my opinion. And then from the PlayStation, I got the Dreamcast, and I fucking adored the Dreamcast. But it had such a short lifespan because the next gen was right on its ass, and the next gen was PlayStation 2 and Xbox. And I got both of those. I got the Xbox in 2003, but I was PlayStation all the way when it first came out, and then PlayStation 2, I mean. And yeah, man, these are some great systems. This is a great conversation we could have. I'll talk about some of my favorite games. I'm a huge fan of the GTA series on PlayStation 2. Especially Vice City was my favorite. And yeah, GoldenEye was fun, man. Get three other friends together and just shoot each other in the face. You know, it was a good time. But even so, the big Xbox 360, that might be my favorite system of all time, the 360. From the dashboard being so intuitive to a lot of the games that to me are legendary. I mean, Assassin's Creed, like I talked about earlier on my page, is a legendary series. I never played that. I've never been. If it's a driving game, I've never been into driving games. Yeah, I agree. And yeah, the Dreamcast just came out too late. It was incredible. I mean, there was a game. The first game I saw was called Blue Stinger, and not a big deal game, but it was amazing. And then playing the MLB and NFL 2K games on there, they looked damn. Back then, they looked real. God, it's such a good game. That's like I have a list of games I'd like to be updated. That'll never happen. Knights of the Old Republic's at the very top, but Vice City is number 2. Like I tried playing 5 just the other day on my PlayStation or my Xbox and just couldn't get into it. By the way, I'm gonna put if anybody wants to be friends with me on Xbox, I'll put it up here so you can see and friend me if you want. I also have a PlayStation or whatever they call it. PS, the hell's it called? So Razor. That's a 0. Because Razor with an O was taken. So that's for Xbox. If anyone wants to join, be friends with me on Xbox Live. My PlayStation one, I can't ever remember. It's Razor. I think it's this. I think this is my PlayStation. What is it called? PSN. I think it's that Razor _ 33 033. So hit me up, man. I'll find you because, like I said, I'm gonna write that down because my PlayStation one I can never remember. It's Razor or something. Hondo Blipper. Yeah, yeah, dude. Those games I played MLB 2K until it disappeared. My favorite. I keep hearing about that. I hope it is. But is it going to be Tommy Vercetti? Because I love Tommy Vercetti. He's my guy. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I was gonna do this for 20 minutes, but when I get to talking and you guys are here, I want to talk more. So thanks for hanging out. We'll do some vintage gaming talk. I'll talk about some of my favorite games. We'll go through the ages. We'll start with I'm not gonna start with Atari or Coleco or any of that shit. But oh, dude, I need to find some of mine. The whatever that game is. I'll have to show you. But yeah, we'll start with Nintendo. We'll go to Genesis. I'd never played the Master System. No, I was gonna say my sister knew a guy in California that had one, but I can't remember if that's true or not. But I never played the Sega Master System. My wife did. She liked Teddy Boy. I remember that. But I played a lot of Genesis. We'll talk about that stuff tomorrow. It'd be a good time. I'll try to do it around 6 Central. Or so. It just depends on when I have time. I've got some comics to write. I've got to watch The Shining and Doctor Sleep for our show for the Horse Syndicate Discourse, and I got to prep for the show on Wednesday. I got a lot of stuff going on. Plus, Razor's Romances will be coming back next week. I'll do that Thursday instead of because tomorrow's gonna be all about vintage gaming. I'm excited. You guys got me pumped about even board gaming at this point. Have a good night. I'm gonna go get some food and make myself less hungry. All right. Have a good evening, everyone. I hope you had a good weekend. Hit subscribe to my channel.